Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times Willy B. We'll be reviewing Ash. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Rosie with me. Rosie, how we doing?
Good, glad to be back.
So today we'll be taking another step into a very eventful theatrical weekend, as we've got our third new release of the weekend, and that is Ash, the latest Shudder original to hit theaters. Last year we got spoiled with Late Night with the Devil and In a Violent Nature as far as Shudder originals
So
go.
good, so
and
good.
Both were hits in my eyes. And
I think so too.
I think we're going to talk about another good one here. We got Flying Lotus in the director's chair,
Mm-hmm.
also acting in this film as one of the, 6 cast members?
Yeah.
But cast-wise, our main character is Eiza Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
You may have seen her in Godzilla vs. Kong. You may have seen her in Hobbs and Shaw.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. And then we also have Aaron Paul, who, for those Breaking Bad fans out there, he's back on the screen in this one.
Oh, he did look familiar. I've never seen Breaking Bad, but, social media,
Yeah.
You just get
Yeah.
information from places, so.
But we'll start with the good. And I had a really good time watching this movie. It's pretty bare boned. It's a very simplistic alien horror thriller. It definitely takes, and pays homage to even the 79 Alien in ways.
I thought so too. Some of the things that toward the third act I feel was very alien-esque.
Yeah. Now the biggest difference between this and Alien, though, is Alien's a very dark black and green type of color palette.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a very blue and red whimsical color palette.
Yes.
I love the use of color in this movie. We get a lot of flashing lights with the blue and the red.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the planet that they're on is just very easy to look at.
Yeah.
It's whimsical.
It is very whimsical.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's the purples, the blues, the reds, and every other color you mix in there. It's a really cool planet to look at. When you're looking in the sky through the orbital, I think is what they call it, it kind of looks like you're watching the old Windows Media Player. You know what I'm talking about? When it would fade in and out colors and different shapes and stuff. So it looked a lot like that. I thought that was cool. But yeah, this movie was it was very beautifully shot and really good lighting. I mean, whether we're in her room and it's the blue lights that, are separated a little bit so you get the lines of blue across the screen, or it's the walking through the hallways and you got the flashing red lights.
Yeah, that was scary. I think they used the color in a really smart way. I feel just as you grow up, red is danger, or red is kind of I don't know, more of a I don't know, ominous color.
Yeah.
So that scene where the light is flashing, the red is going in and out, and then it's black, pitch black, and I'm like, oh my god, something's going to pop out of nowhere, and the red plus the score and everything was just that was a really tense moment to me, but then the green in her, because I feel she felt a little safer in her room
when it was blue,
maybe. So I don't know, I think the color played a really prominent part in this, because it just added to the ambiance and the vibe of the movie.
For sure. Continuing with the good, Eiza Gonzalez was definitely the good.
Oh, yeah.
In the first act, there's not much dialogue. Until we get Aaron Paul into the picture, it's it's very music heavy and following her and watching what her do, but they still create tension, and you're just trying to figure out along with her what's going on. Eiza Gonzalez did a great job selling with face acting. She did a great job once we start getting dialogue. She was just very convincing, and I really liked her in this role. And our supporting cast was good too. I mean, Aaron Paul, He was great for his time he was in it, and then the crew, we don't get a lot of them, but we get them through flashbacks and stuff like that, and I enjoy all the crew as well.
Yeah.
So definitely no notes in the acting department. I'm gonna put practical effects in the good.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put all effects here, but when
Fair.
things were done practically, they looked good, especially a lot of the body horror, like the blood
Oh my
and
gosh, yes.
the teeth, and like making them look like monsters when the parasite enters their body.
Scary.
I thought all of that was really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there were some special effects I'd throw in the good, but we'll get into some of them. I mean,
yes,
I love the machine that they have.
That, like, the surgery machine.
Yeah, it can do surgeries or tell you the cause of death.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think they were smart with how they played that too, because once she figures out what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you how long the person's been dead.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when she snapped into reality.
Yeah.
So I think they use that in, some critical points of the movie to,
for sure,
foreshadow us into what's going to happen.
Yeah. But no, that machine was cool, and a lot of the practical effects were done really well. It felt very alien-esque when we get the practical effects. Definitely a grotesque one. There's a lot of...
I was not expecting that at all.
A lot of jump scare injections. One got the guy next to us.
Oh my gosh, the poor guy next to us in the theater.
There was a seat between us. We were hit by his popcorn. He apologized like 3 times. I'm like, dude, no, that made me
funny.
Smile. Like, that was awesome that got you as good as it did.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, so a few good jump scares for sure. And a movie that's mostly built on tension for its scare. There was still some of that like shock scare that you got for sure.
I definitely agree. I was with an alien movie, you don't always like alien movies. To me, don't always go in like the horror genre. But I'm also one that is like, oh, is it horror or is it thriller? So like usually alien movies go in the thriller just because it's like the shock factor more than scariness.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one had a lot of both.
That scene, the jump scare that got him when she's looking at the door and she sees one of her dead crewmates. Him standing there, it kind of reminded me of Pet Sematary.
I hated it.
Did it not? It kind of reminded me of
I watched.
Why can't I think of his name? But the Pascal. That had the brain injury. And, but then all of a sudden it's a jump scare and you're like, oh, shit.
I didn't like. Ooh, if you know me personally at all, I'm weird with teeth. Yeah. And there was a few, and their teeth were weird, and I was like, ooh, I'm not bothered by anything else in this movie, but like, ooh, and when he is like in the, ooh, like thinking about it gives me the heebie-jeebies. But
for sure,
I think this movie did a good job at being both scary and thrilling. Yeah. And because sometimes there's like a very defined point, but I think this one did a great job of being both.
So once again,
a mystery.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of genres all in one.
Yeah. Once again, this is a little bit of a slow burn. I do think the pacing was better than Locked, which we talked about yesterday. I guess I was more into it. And
yeah, I was definitely.
There was a little more substance, obviously, because in Locked, you're sitting in a car. In this one, you're learning. You're learning as you go. What's going on here? So I was a little more into it, and again, a lot of that was Isa Gonzalez. She did a great job, just as I was talking about Bill Skarsgård did yesterday. But definitely a slow burn for 90 minutes, but it was a really enjoyable slow burn. Especially when you're looking at something that was as beautiful as it was, using the color grading and the lighting they used, and just easy to look at. I already mentioned the planet. I really liked the planet they put them on. I love the set design too. I think the grounded base on this planet they're trying to get new life form on, it felt like a spaceship, but still felt like home at the same time. So
I was just about to say that
they're trying to find a place, and it's a lot like the story we've seen before, like Wall-E. Like we need to get out of Earth. Yeah. And so like the plants hanging in that living room area was really cool. But then you go to the bedrooms and you get that like space station feel. Like it's small, cramped corridors. You have your bed, you have your desk. Limited personal belongings. The doors, how they shoot open, and the air suction, and also you still get that spacey stuff you want. But it was cool because it was unique, you know? Because it had that homey feel to it.
For sure.
So I really enjoyed the set design. I think the biggest good of all was the score.
I was pleasantly surprised as well. I am not much of a listening to the music and listening to the score while I'm watching the movie because, like, my brain can only do one thing at one time. But I know because at the beginning, when it's just her, what's her name? Rhea. It's her character's name. When it's just her, before we get Brian introduced, it's really just her and the score. And, like, she's not doing a lot of talking because there's nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I was able to listen to the score a little bit. And I was like, wow, that really adds to, like, the ominousness.
Yeah. There was a lot of the score had a very spacey, ominous feel to it. And there was moments where it was, like, almost like that ambiance movie music you hear on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Flying Lotus did the music as well, which is cool. I mean, he had his hand in everything. He was acting, directing, writing the music. But
it was busy.
The score was fantastic. It's a score I'm going to revisit on Spotify. I'm going to add this to my playlist 100%. It just... The score itself was just a vibe.
I think so, too.
This movie is a bit of a mind trip, for sure.
100%.
Especially once you get to that third act. But the use of color in that score combined make this movie worth watching on just the aesthetic of the movie alone. It's immaculate vibes, you could say.
I think so, too.
Which is weird to say about, like, a body horror, alien sci-fi thriller, but it was a vibe. Now, the third act, I'm going to throw in the good as well. I'm going to throw... this whole movie I put in the good, but that third act, you leaned over to me and were like, what the hell is going on? And, like, I'm watching, I'm starting to, like, figure it out myself. Like, okay, I think it... And then getting to jump back and see how everything happened. And then the machine taking the, the parasite out of her and it attaching itself to Brian. And it was just a wild ride, but it was fun. And then, obviously, the post-credit scene we get, too, where she finally gets off the planet, but the space station up in the sky has tentacles wrapped all over it.
Yeah, it was scary.
Just a really, really good ending, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was, like, not, like, on the edge of my seat, but I was definitely, like, leaning forward because I was, like, trying to figure out what was going on. But I think we'll talk about the third act for me in a minute.
Okay. That's it for me in the good.
Okay.
So we'll hop to the meh. I'm going to start the meh by saying I don't have anything in the bad.
I don't think so either. Just
actually,
like...
I do.
Okay.
I do. I lied.
But yeah.
We'll start in the meh.
Okay.
What do you have? I mean, you were gonna say you have the third act here.
I don't know. Just like I know there's been movies we've reviewed on the channel, but personally, I have a hard time following movies with, like, I don't know, like the split reality or a time frame difference. I just, because I have a pea brain, I just have a hard time following. So I think I don't even know what to call it, because it's not really the story, it's not really the pacing. It's just like how they did it. I don't know, because I loved it. I did, and I loved the story, and I thought the story was cool, and I loved it was a really good movie. I just had a hard time following at some points.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to, like, kill my score on it because of that, because I'm probably, like, the only person that isn't going to understand what the heck is going on for a quarter of the movie. It's just a personal thing, like, for me, that I have a hard time following.
Yeah.
And other people might, but, so I think so it's hard to just put in the meh, because, like, I don't know what to put in the meh.
Yeah.
But, like, there's just, like, something in my, like, brain, like, telling me that maybe the third act has to go in the meh, just because I was, like, not following. Yeah. Like, once I don't even know when.
You're not alone. I heard somebody else in the theater say what's going on.
I was like, what in the world is happening? Just because, like, you said it was a slow burn, so, like, not really even, but, like, it was so slow, and, like, you thought you knew what was happening, And then, like, I think it was after she scanned Brian's body with the, like, surgery machine thing, which was really cool. And then she's seen that he'd been dead for 51 hours. But, like, we just watched him die, like, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's when everything, like, did a complete 360. And, like, you know, then you realize, like, it was all hallucinations.
Yeah.
And I did not get that in that point. So I was like, hello? What just happened? I thought we knew what was going on. So, not necessarily I don't know. I'm going to put that in the math.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm rambling.
I'm changing my mind.
Okay.
I don't have anything that bad. I'm gonna put special effects in the math. Like I said, practical effects were great. I'm putting special effects in the meh instead of the bad because there were some bad ones. I thought when the creature was running around in its like goo form, it was pretty rough at times. And then when we get to our final creature, I love the look of the final creature when it takes over Brian's body, but there was a moment in the takeover that looked rough. The fire when it's on people's bodies looked fake. When it's on the structure of the building, it's real. It is real. It's practical. But I'm putting it in the meh because I thought like the spaceship looked good
until it got into this.
No, I thought it looked good for the most part. I thought it looked good for the most part. I thought the space station looked good, especially with the tentacles around it.
Yes. Yes.
The planet itself was also special effects, and I thought it looked great.
Yes, I agree. The only thing I disagree with is that when the spaceship that she goes up in is on the planet, I thought it was fine. The second it left the ground, I was like,
I think it had a moment, but it quickly fixed.
It did. And then I think the one scene where you can see her in the spaceship plus the space station, I would assume that's what that is far out there.
Yeah.
The far away, the space station looked pretty cool, but like you could, I don't know, the spaceship looked kind of funky to me personally. That's the one thing I probably was like,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think everything else looked good. I don't know. I love the creature guy. Yeah. He was, he's a tentacle.
Yeah.
So
no, I thought he looked good once he got
creepy.
there, but when the alien would like take over a body, it was a little wonky at times. I think Flying Lotus did a great job, but we'll hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with Ash, and what do you give it out of 10?
I think I definitely did enjoy this one. I wasn't sure. I am a fan of the OG Alien with Sigourney Weaver. I love her. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I like that. And you read me the synopsis on the way to the theater. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll like it because, like, it kind of reminds me of that movie. And I really enjoy that movie. And we just seen that in theaters last year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, go pretty good. We didn't have anything in the bad, which is great. So I'm going to stick this one in a 7.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go 8 out of 10. I think this was a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a 90-minute mind tweaker, but it's beautiful. I like the twist. I love the third act and the finish we get. The score is fantastic. All in all, thumbs up to Mr. Flying Lotus.
For sure.
If I do say so myself.
So if this is a Shudder original, is it on Shudder now? Or do you have to wait for it to come out of theater?
I don't know how it works. I'm pretty sure with Late Night with the Devil, it came out in theaters and then it was on Shudder like 2 weeks later.
Okay. So if you don't check it out in the theater, you can, if you have your Shudder subscription.
And I'm pretty sure that In a Violent Nature was similar. It was on Shudder a couple weeks after.
I wasn't sure if it dropped.
Usually new releases just drop to Shudder, but if they get a theater release, they drop to Shudder a couple weeks after.
That makes sense. They want you to go to the theater.
I'm always down for a Shudder original theater release because the ones that have hit theaters, I've watched some pretty stinky Shudder originals on Shudder.
Yeah.
But the Shudder originals that have hit theaters haven't let me down.
They put the right ones in theaters, so that's good.
So keep them coming for sure.
Of course.
That'll do it for Ash. Rosie, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. As always, it's appreciated. Make sure you go to Instagram and check out Movie Madness as we have a March Madness bracket going to horror movies. And yeah, go cast your vote every day through March 29th until we get the best horror movie remaining in the movie madness. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.